Please subscribe, like and share this content. It means a lot to us. Thank you in advance.
U.S. Code, Title 2. To U.S. Code Chapter 2, Organization of Congress. To U.S. Code Paragraph 21, Oath of Senators. The oath of office shall be administered by the President of the Senate to each senator who shall be elected, previous to his taking his seat. To U.S. Code Paragraph 22, Oath of President of Senate. When a President of the Senate has not taken the oath of office, it shall be administered to him by any member of the Senate. To U.S. Code Paragraph 23, Presiding Officer of Senate may administer oaths. The presiding officer, for the time being, of the Senate of the United States, shall have power to administer all oaths and affirmations that are or may be required by the Constitution, or by law, to be taken by any senator, officer of the Senate, witness, or other person, in respect to any matter within the jurisdiction of the Senate. To U.S. Code Paragraph 24, Secretary of Senate or Assistant Secretary may administer oaths. The Secretary of the Senate, and the Assistant Secretary thereof, shall, respectively, have power to administer any oath or affirmation required by law, or by the rules or orders of the Senate, to be taken by any officer of the Senate, and to any witness produced before it. To U.S. Code Paragraph 25, Oath of Speaker, Members, and Delegates. At the first session of Congress after every general election of representatives, the oath of office shall be administered by any member of the House of Representatives to the Speaker, and by the Speaker to all the members and delegates present, and to the clerk, previous to entering on any other business, and to the members and delegates who afterward appear, previous to their taking their seats. The clerk of the House of Representatives of the 80th and each succeeding Congress shall cause the oath of office to be printed, furnishing 2 copies to each member and delegate who has taken the oath of office in accordance with law, which shall be subscribed in person by the member or delegate, who shall thereupon deliver them to the clerk, one to be filed in the records of the House of Representatives, and the other to be recorded in the Journal of the House and in the Congressional Record, and such signed copies, or certified copies thereof, or of either of such records thereof, shall be admissible in evidence in any court of the United States, and shall be held conclusive proof of the fact that the signer duly took the oath of office in accordance with law. To U.S. Code Paragraph 25A, Delegate to House of Representatives from District of Columbia. A. The people of the District of Columbia shall be represented in the House of Representatives by a delegate, to be known as the Delegate to the House of Representatives from the District of Columbia, who shall be elected by the voters of the District of Columbia in accordance with the District of Columbia Election Act. The delegate shall have a seat in the House of Representatives, with the right of debate, but not of voting, shall have all the privileges granted to a representative by Section 6 of Article I of the Constitution, and shall be subject to the same restrictions and regulations as are imposed by law or rules on representatives. The delegate shall be elected to serve during each Congress. B. No individual may hold the office of delegate to the House of Representatives from the District of Columbia unless on the date of his election, 1. He is a qualified elector, as that term is defined in Section 2.2 of the District of Columbia Election Act of the District of Columbia, 2. He is at least 25 years of age, 3. He holds no other paid public office, and 4. He has resided in the District of Columbia continuously since the beginning of the 3-year period ending on such date. He shall forfeit his office upon failure to maintain the qualifications required by this subsection. To U.S. Code Paragraph 25B, Repealed. To U.S. Code Paragraph 26, Roll of Representatives-elect. Before the first meeting of each Congress, the clerk of the next preceding House of Representatives shall make a roll of the representatives-elect, and place thereon the names of those persons, and of such persons only, whose credentials show that they were regularly elected in accordance with the laws of their states respectively, or the laws of the United States. In case of a vacancy in the office of Clerk of the House of Representatives, or of the absence or inability of the clerk to discharge the duties imposed on him by law or custom relative to the preparation of the roll of representatives or the organization of the House, those duties shall devolve on the Sergeant-at-Arms of the next preceding House of Representatives. To U.S. Code Paragraph 27, Change of Place of Meeting. Whenever Congress is about to convene, and from the prevalence of contagious sickness, or the existence of other circumstances, it would, in the opinion of the President, be hazardous to the lives or health of the members to meet at the seat of government, the President is authorized, by proclamation, to convene Congress at such other place as he may judge proper. To U.S. Code Paragraph 28, Parliamentary Precedents of House of Representatives. A. Periodic compilation, other useful materials, Index Digest, date of completion. The Parliamentarian of the House of Representatives, at the beginning of the 5th fiscal year following the completion and publication of the Parliamentary Precedents of the House authorized by the Legislative Branch Appropriation Act, 1966, 79 Stat. 270. Public Law 8990, and at the beginning of each 5th fiscal year thereafter, shall commence the compilation and preparation for printing of the Parliamentary Precedents of the House of Representatives, together with such other materials as may be useful in connection therewith, and an Index Digest of such precedents and other materials. Each such compilation and preparation for printing of the Parliamentary Precedents of the House shall be completed by the close of the fiscal year immediately following the fiscal year in which such work is commenced. B. Form, number, and distribution of compilation. As so compiled and prepared, such precedents and other materials and Index Digest shall be printed on pages of such size, and in such type and format, as the Parliamentarian may determine, and shall be printed in such numbers and for such distribution as may be provided by law enacted prior to printing. C. Appointment and compensation of personnel, utilization of services of personnel of federal agencies for the purpose of carrying out each such compilation and preparation. The Parliamentarian may, 1. Subject to the approval of the Speaker, appoint, as employees of the House of Representatives, clerical and other personnel and fix their respective rates of pay, and 2. Utilize the services of personnel of the Library of Congress and the Government Publishing Office. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 28A, Compilation of the Precedents of House of Representatives, date of completion, biennial update, printing and availability of copies. The Speaker is authorized and directed to complete the compilation of the Precedents of the House of Representatives by January 1, 1977, and prepare an updated compilation of such precedents every 2 years thereafter. Copies of the compilation of precedents shall be printed in sufficient quantity to be available to every member in the standing committees of the House of Representatives. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 28B, Printing and binding as public document of precedents of House of Representatives, number of sets authorized. A. There shall be printed and bound as a public document 2,000 sets of the precedents of the House of Representatives compiled and prepared by Louis Ischler, hereinafter in sections 28B to 28E of this title referred to as the Precedents, in accordance with the provisions of the Legislative Branch Appropriation Act, 1966, Public Law 8990, 79 Stat. 265. B. The number of sets authorized to be printed and bound by or pursuant to sections 28B to 28E of this title shall be in lieu of the usual number of copies for binding and distribution required by section 701 of Title 44. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 28C, Distribution of Precedents by Director of the Government Publishing Office. A. Delivery to members of 95th Congress, marking the volumes. The Director of the Government Publishing Office shall deliver one set of the precedents to each Senator or Representative in, or Delegate or Resident Commissioner to, the 95th Congress. The name of the member to whom the set is delivered shall be legibly stamped on the front cover of each volume of the set. B. Members of Congress following 95th Congress not already having sets of precedents, necessity of written request to Superintendent of Documents for set each Senator or Representative in, or Delegate or Resident Commissioner to, each Congress following the 95th Congress who has not theretofore received a set of the precedents shall be entitled to receive one set of the precedents, upon transmitting a written request for such set to the Superintendent of Documents. C. Additional distribution of sets. The Director of the Government Publishing Office shall make the following distribution of sets of the precedents: 1. To the office of the Vice President, to the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and to the office of the President pro tempore of the Senate, each 5 sets. 2. To the office of the Majority Leader of the House of Representatives, and to the office of the Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, each 3 sets. 3. To the Parliamentarian of the House of Representatives, 60 sets. 4. To the Parliamentarian of the Senate, 5 sets. 5. To the Clerk of the House of Representatives and to the Sergeant-at-Arms of the House of Representatives, each 2 sets. 6. To the Secretary of the Senate and to the Sergeant-at-Arms of the Senate, each 2 sets. 7. To the Superintendent of the House Document Room, 2 sets. 8. To the Superintendent of the Senate Document Room, 2 sets. 9. To the Library of Congress, for international exchange and for official use in Washington, District of Columbia, 150 sets. 10. To the National Archives, 3 sets. 11. To the Government of the District of Columbia, 12 sets. 12. To the Smithsonian Institute, 2 sets. 13. To the Library of each legislative branch of each state, territory, and possession of the United States, 1 set. And 14. To the Superintendent of Documents, 816 sets for distribution to the Depository Library System.